My lords, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to episode number 13 of the Transport Fever 2 Hard Mode Let's Play series. The episode begins above the passenger bridge that bridges over our freight line that heads from the brickworks into Portishead, which we can see off in the distance there. And I have an interesting plan for today's episode. Basically, I want to attempt two fairly major engineering feats. And for that I have had to progress the game a little, with the date paused, to build up an almighty stockpile of money, because in testing what I want to do in this episode does cost around about 100 million to achieve, so I've had to build up a nice little war chest for us to be able to use to get these engineering projects completed. The first thing I'd like to do is construct a man-made canal that will shorten our shipping route by quite a considerable margin, because we're going to cut out the little spit of land off between Market Raisin and Portishead and give them a more direct access up to the distillery up in the north by Yoxall. The other thing I'd like to do, and there's a slight clue where we are at the minute, I want to bridge across the river. Now I've already started to an extent. I've laid the tracks out where we're going to be heading, and I've basically gone as far as the water's edge here, and I have picked a very wide section of the river, and that is deliberate. Yes, it doesn't make the most sense to do it here, however the bridge we're going to put in will be very epic, and it will make a very nice backdrop to our towns of West Ham and Portishead. So that's the plan for today. So let's bring up the UI, shall we? Here we go. As you can see, a lot of money in reserve. Yes, we need most of that. And for the canal, which is what we're going to do first, I've made a start here just to show you what I mean. And basically we're going to have this dig all the way through here into this area, so then our ships, instead of having to sail down here, up and then around past Market Raisin, they will just come straight through this little corridor here. That will shorten their journey time considerably. We will have to put a bridge over the canal for our rail line, and a bridge for this intercity road connection as well. So that shouldn't be too difficult, however. So let's get started straight away, shall we? So we want the square brush. We don't need that size. Let's go a bit smaller than that. I'm just trying to get it to what I had in my testing, which is sort of this sort of size. Yeah, that's the one. Look, we can see there. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose a reference point in the river that we have made for us already, and then just drag it straight through using the flatten or level terrain option. Just gonna very quickly switch to a circular brush here, because we are going to have to curve past the farm a little, and I just want to make sure it's nice and rounded like that. As you can see, this is costing millions already. There we go. We don't have to actually delete the road yet, because in testing what you can do is you can just run straight up to it, and we'll carry on with the square brush now. Like that, it will leave the road untouched, and then you can continue your canal. Okay, so we need to, in fact we'll just delete that one field. That's fine. I didn't want to go straight through the farm obviously, but getting rid of one field isn't the end of the world. So let's continue where we were, straight through. And again, we don't have to adjust the rail line yet. It will leave the rail line untouched, and we can continue the canal on the other side, and then meet up with the river down here. So there we go, our canal. Obviously it's not navigable yet, because there's a dam, if you will, in two locations. We'll have to sort out some of the terrain artifacts that it's generated, but that's no problem. So let's do this road first of all, shall we? Yes, it's going to interrupt our main connection. Don't particularly care about that. And let's build them a bridge over this. In fact, first of all, what we want to do, of course, is get rid of this spit of land that it's generated there. There we go. Now we can put the bridge in. We want country roads. We'll have a medium country road. And if we go up 4 elevation steps, go straight over. What sort of height are we at there? That's not bad, I don't think. Keep it level. Will that work? Yes. We can arch it. It's a road that we won't really be using ourselves, so I'm not really fussed about any slowdown on this bridge. What we will do though, select a different style of bridge, something a bit fancier, hopefully. How does that look? No, I'm not happy with that. Maybe we'll just go for the iron bridge. Yeah, that's fine. That should leave plenty of clearance for the ships to pass underneath without colliding with the underside of the bridge. So we'll accept that. And then we're just going to, well, not like that, we're not. We're just going to connect the bridge. Use the curve road tool, that'll be better, won't it? Bring the bridge in somewhere, it will connect the road up like that, I think. And we'll have that set to earthworks. Yep, that will work. So we can get rid of this bit of road. And they'll have to just detour a little. There we go. Now we want to take this road back, so we've got plenty of room to bring the road down. Down to about there should be plenty of room, I think. And what we're going to do is curve off, go back to the earthworks, bring it through the middle of the farm into there, and there we go. So that bit's now opened up for our shipping. Just get rid of that strange terrain artifact there. Let's just reduce the brush size quite considerably. Okay, it doesn't want to do that. I guess it's this field here. So we're going to have to get rid of one more field, which is unfortunate, but it still looks like a very productive farm. Okay, the next thing we want to do then is this rail line, and for this we will pause it, because I am concerned, or I am bothered about the trains being affected. Less so about the AI traffic, of course, but when it's our own routes, we definitely don't want them to be sat there idling, because they have no passage. So if we take the railroad back quite a distance like that, that'll give us plenty of room to approach the canal, not the river, it's a canal. Yes, plenty of room to approach the canal, get a bridge over at a decent height, without impacting our trains too severely with the elevation change. So now we can get rid of that little spit of land that was left over, there we go. And now we can put in our rail bridge. This is only freight, I believe. Yes it is, so we can use standard tracks for now. And what we're going to do is same sort of thing, 4-step elevation straight across. That's lovely and open, and I think that's a decent height as well. Keep it perfectly level on either side. How does that look? Is that going to give us enough clearance? I think it should do. It can be adjusted as necessary if required. And then if we just drag the line straight over, that should stretch out that gradient nicely. We'll use earthworks there. That's that one, and then we connect it in on this side over here. Same sort of thing. Again, earthworks over there, so the bridge is only over the canal. Perfect, and now we can just double track it straight over. It leaves the canal now accessible for our shipping, but we do have to replace the signals that got deleted, so we'll do that very quickly. And we'll use the auto signal feature. 400 meters, and we'll go from there, head over to the other side, and then go from there. There we go. Now if we check our lines, the ships have automatically routed themselves through the canal. I will tidy up these edges. In fact, I'll do a quick tidy up now. The first thing I want to do is actually just delete some of the trees that are too close to the edge, just like that. They shouldn't really be so far to the bank there. That's a bit better. Same with these on this side, just the first row or two. How about get rid of that one? A couple over here, look. I think that should do. Yeah, I'll do some scenery work on this off camera. For now, it's functioning, it's going to work, and I'm happy with it. So that's engineering project number 1. What would it be? What would we call it? The Portishead Canal, I think? Or the Market Raisin Canal. Either way, we have our canal. So I wonder which ship will be the first to use the new route. Perhaps this one on its way down, or this one on its way up. Either way, it's going to cut off a lot of journey time, as we can see. That's going to improve our rates and our finances. Right then, so now we can head over to where we want to do our second engineering marvel. And this is a passenger line that's going to link the towns of Portishead with Burton. While I was accumulating the funds, I did go ahead and make a start. I put the station down, and I've put a bus journey or a bus route down, or a tram route rather, for Burton. And we've also started delivering fuel into Burton as well. That was just to pass the time. Another thing I did is a bit of asset scenery detailing out here, just to bring it alive a little, make it look like a busy freight exchange. And yeah, like I said, that was just to kill time while the money was accumulating. Okay, so back to where we left off, or where I left off. What we're going to do is just come straight over the river. What sort of height do we have here? 19 meters. Okay, I'm not sure that's going to be high enough for what we want. That is quite low. It's technically open for shipping, but it is a little low, isn't it? Okay. Well, let's just make a slight change here then. And in fact, I'll go back as far as the bridge. And we'll have it continue to climb and curve. I'm not too concerned about the speed here, to be honest. So if we go up to 21 meters, yes. Yes, that will work. And then what we'll do from here is we'll actually have the railroad curve as well. We don't want to keep climbing. That is obscenely high, 74 meters. No need for that. But that gives us a much better clearance. And having an arced bridge or curved bridge does look quite nice. And of course, we've got to go for a grand bridge. So let's go for a suspension bridge. And given that it draws it in without having to accept it, we can use that as a sort of preview as to what it's going to look like. And as you can see, it's going to look quite impressive in the background. And like I said, it's going to add a lovely backdrop for our towns. £33 million. Worth it? Yes. Necessary? No. But I'm doing it anyway, so let's get the other side brought over now. Dual tracked. Fantastic. There we go. That is a bridge and a half. So yes, all we have to do now then is bring this down and then connect it into Burton upon Trent. Now, given that it's coming this way, obviously the ideal route for this is to come this way and down into Burton like so. And that would also leave us an option, if we wanted to come down this way with a branch line into Bracknell. And then we'd have a line between Burton and Bracknell. And as we said, this will be our southern main line. Even though we won't be operating mainline trains yet, we'll be doing point-to-point trains as we did over the other side. Now you can start dropping down. We'll go for earthworks and we'll sort this out with some terrain modification. It's not going to look that bad. And which way do we want to go? Well, first of all, we'll get rid of that road. Again, I'm not going to pause it. I don't really care about the AI traffic as much as I should. But never mind. And we'll come down this way. Again, let it drop to its natural elevation. Use earthworks. We'll blend it all out. And we'll make it a gentle rising slope up to the train line. And then we want to make sure we're heading at a decent angle past the silver mine and then down into Burton. And that should be pretty much perfect as it is there. Bring the second track in. I'll quickly just terrain modify this now while we're here. We've got plenty of money. Well, we're down to 90 million, which is still plenty, but we've spent about 100 million this episode alone, just on the canal and the bridge. Probably not the most efficient thing. Well, it's definitely not, but I think it's a nice little project, so I'm happy enough to do it. And we've got the money to spare, so why not? Why not splurge out a little to bring the map alive and give it those feats of engineering marvels that you see around the rail lines across the world? Okay, so that looks a little better. I'll probably do some more to that off camera just to stretch out the gradient a little further, but for now it looks better than it did for sure. We need to reconnect this road, of course, so we'll do that now, and again we'll bridge over our line here so there's no interference. There we go. What's the height on that? Not even close to being good enough. How's that? That's better. Don't really care about the bridge type for them. Then we'll just use earthworks again there and there. That's quite steep, but again, not really that bothered by that. I've seen the AI build steeper, so what the heck. And then we'll just blend these out as well, like so, to make it look like it was always constructed that way. There we go. Lovely. Okay, so now we can continue these lines over towards Burton. So our station is there, and in fact what we'll do at this point, well, first of all we'll get rid of that road, because it's right in the way of where we're headed. We'll bring our lines out from the station, like so. Get you to snap in. Yes, you're dropping speed, but you're still pretty decent. 77 miles an hour this close to a station isn't too bad at all. And which way do we want to be headed? We want to be starting to curve off to the left. Alright, 144 isn't a bad speed, and that's the outer track, so the other ones will be a little bit faster. But these want to be merged over. We want to get 100. Yeah, 99, 100. I can accept that. And in like that. How does it look? Looks alright. We need the diamonds, of course, and we'll do them up here because we can do them side by side. Should we go for... Let's go for 70. Again, you're on approach to a station anyway, so really the trains should be slowing down. And I don't think you'd have a train in reality that's about to stop at this station doing 77 miles an hour, or 70 miles an hour, this close to the platform. Obviously, in reality, the train's brakes aren't made out of neutronium like they are in Transport Fever 2, and they slow it down a lot sooner. But there we go. That's the diamond, so that's that bit taken care of. We'll do the signalling later, of course. Alright, we're going to have to interrupt this here to lay the train line down. So we'll pause it because that is our connection. Obviously, our fuel supply trucks run here. And we'll curve it through just here because we want to make sure we have enough room to get a bridge over this. And now you can start to open up and speed up once again. So a bit of a chicane or a shimmy there, but so be it. That's, you know, it's not too unreasonable. And if we just delete back to there and there, get the road tool. This is a large country road, and again, we'll go for the 4-step elevation. Bridge over. What's the clearance like? Absolutely fine. You don't want to be climbing up, you want to be maintaining your height, and that's still perfectly fine, and the feet are well away from the tracks as well. And now we want to bring this down into here. Okay, there's a collision with this fence asset that I put down, so we'll just have to remove that a little. Hopefully that's enough space. Yes, and the gradient's not that bad, is it? And we'll give it a bit of a dip so it curves up a bit more naturally. This road we can take it back quite a way and get a more gentle slope down. Like that. We'll swap that for raised earthworks. How does that look? Okay, that's going down to go up. Maybe if we go like that. Yep, happy with that. Just using shift, of course, to do the fine control elevation changes there. There we go. Fits nice and snug. We can resume it now. We have the connection restored. And now what we want to do is come through. We'll have a tunnel through this little ridge here. Why not? And then that'll leave us the scope to, or at least have the main line heading this way, and this being the branching points. So what we'll do, rather than having this B line up there, we'll draw this track in where we're going to have it as part of its main line. Sort of like so. Maybe come, yeah, we'll go for that. We can just adjust the other track. I was thinking we'd turn that away just a little bit too far, but we'll see if we can get it to come in at a decent speed. Let's use the inner track there so we know what speed is our pure minimum. 160? Yeah. That's fast enough for now. Can always redo this later on. And then just continue heading straight. And now you want to, again, go to the inner radius. 100. Can go a little more, perhaps to there. That's roughly the same level as the track that we're connecting into as well, so that's good. Yep, looking good. And then we should now be able to connect it. It'll be a slow connection, as we can see. In fact, that's very slow, isn't it? We could probably do that a little better. And if we come off this here first, keep it at the same level, it should give us a smooth overlap. Yes, it does. How's that? So it's still slowing down quite a bit. Just raise the track up a little. How's that? Maybe one more? Two more? There. Three more? Just go with it. There we go. How's that? Is that a bit too slow? Well, we'll have it for now. It can always be reworked later on if we want to. But there we go. All we need to do now is put in some signals, of course, and then we can set up a line connecting over to Burton. We'll also have to set up the tram line. I didn't actually set the line up or assign any vehicles. I've just put the infrastructure in place, as you can see. Sort of marking our territory, if you will. And we'll stick with 3 aspect here. And we're going to need a one-way signal there and just there. And we'll have one there as well. I imagine we can squeeze these in here without risking any overlap on the diamond. Like that. And then we'll go for bi-directional signals here. As I always tend to do. Not only does it add to the immersion, if you will, it also lets your trains start to creep towards the junction if there's something else leaving ahead of them. With that being said, we can now put in the rest of our signals. I think we'll go for 1 kilometer distance blocks here. It's not going to be a massively busy, it's only really a connection between the northern and the southern main line. And I think 1 kilometer is more than enough for this. So we'll put him down there. That's filled it in, well, as far as this tunnel as we can see. Now we might need a few more blocks on this stretch, because obviously we're going to have trains running out towards Bracknell in the near future. So in fact what I'll do is auto signal now. Try and find the midpoint, which is roughly here, and just put in one more block like that. And then we want to put the ones around the junction work we've just done, like that, and that, and that. Wonderful. Now we can go for the larger space blocking. Again, 1 kilometer, and we'll have our first one there. Very good. And we'll duplicate the other track like that. Very good. We already have the stopping signals to protect the junction just there. But what we're going to want is something to clear the junction for the next train that might be waiting behind, and that should be reasonable enough. So now then, before we set up the connection, as we can see, our ships are now using this. I forgot to check on that. He obviously didn't get the memo, but he did. Yes, before we set up this connection between our two, what will be main lines, let's set up the tram line for Burton. That way we can start getting passengers up this way. like that. Yes, but we want to sort out what way you're navigating around the town by using waypoints, but we'll do that in a moment. Just do the naming first, and that's Inner City Tram Burton Station. Now we want our waypoints down, and we'll have a phone box there, and then that should bring him down this way and in there, and then we'll have another phone box there, and then that should bring him back this way. Let's just verify that. Inner City Tram, so after Burton Station, you want to hit that waypoint. Yes, that's exactly what you need to do. We'll swap your platform there to platform 4. That's better. And then after Burton Central, come out this way. Yep, that's exactly what we want. Absolutely wonderful. Now we can get a tram, and we'll put our tram depot out here, so we're going to have to electrify some of this line here, or this road. So we'll just use the upgrade tool, tram track with catenary, and we'll have it round about there. So we don't need to upgrade it all, just enough to get a connection into the town like that. There is the depot, it has catenary. Let's get the trams. I forgot we unlocked these new trams in the, I think it was the last episode. And they are a lot better than our existing fleet, so we will upgrade our trams this episode. And to start, we'll go for 3 of those. They are white, and they are on that line. Unable to find path to stop, missing electric tracks. A path has been found, but one or more sections of the path are not electrified. The vehicle requires electric lines. Okay, so I've clearly not electrified a small section somewhere. Let's see if we can hunt that down. Okay, we can't see. Okay, so this bit is all electrified, obviously. Where is the electrification missing? Let's see if we can find out. This is all electrified, yes. Ah, there we go. And that bit there, and then you should be happy. Yes, you are. There you go. The trams have made their way out now, as we can see. Well, one of them has. The others can join him. And then that will start advertising, if you will, to the residents of Burton that they can now get to the train station, so they're aware of it. So what we can do at this point is put in a line from Burton upon Trent into Portishead. Now at this point we're going to have to make a decision whether we block in our express line by using platform 1 and 2, 1 or 2 I should say, or do we share a platform up here, or the third option is do we put an extra stretch of tracking along the top and just have it connecting wherever. I think we'll go for the new platform. It expands the size of the station, and this is our capital station after all, so the more impressive looking we can make it, the better. Still got the date paused. To compensate, I'll set for 2 times, just for probably the remainder of the episode, just to catch back up there. Do apologise for that. That's obviously a layover from what I did between episodes there when I was accumulating the funds to get these projects completed. Anyway, let's continue with this. 122 there, and then what we'll do is we'll have this come straight over as fast as possible. That's fast enough. And then we'll have a double slip switch there, just to ensure there's no shenanigans down here. What we'll do is put in a 2-way signal there and there, just to keep this protected. Do we need anything protecting it on the way in? Possibly. There. Yes. That should be okay. Anyway, back to our line. Add station. Portishead, platform number 5. You've found your way. Going over our rather expensive and extravagant bridge. Coming down in nicely, and then obviously into Burton without any dramas there. This will be... what do we want to call this line? The north-south connection, perhaps? The north-south connection line. That'll do temporarily. You can always think of a better name, or you could always suggest one if you have any in mind, of course. Always open to suggestions. We need a train. I don't know if the train from this depot would be able to figure out how to get there, but we could try it. We can always sell it if it's not going to work. Now, shall we go for the A4? Have a bit of an express line running between the north and the south. Sure. Then what? Passenger wagons, BC4s. And I think just 3 carriages to start with will be more than enough. That gives it an excellent speed rating. And we'll have 2 of those, I think. Colour them, is it that sort of burgundy colour? I think it was. Will they find the way there? They absolutely will, you clever little trains. So out come our connection trains here. Let's have a quick look at them as they're departing. I mean, that bridge in the background, I think it looks fantastic, if I do say so myself. And I think it was well worth the investment. Even if it's going to take about 400 years for us to recoup the cost of that, in terms of, you know, the trains that are running the line, you know, those that it's been built for. Yeah, for them to break even for the cost of this line, it's probably never going to happen, but it doesn't really matter. We have enough income from other sources for that not to be a problem. Okay, so if we now flip you, will you head to Burton without any issues? Yes, you will. At least it looks like you will. So off she goes. Now, I did have a request for a train name in a recent episode, and that was by Buffalo Soldier. Now, Buffalo, I know you did indicate a preference for a grain train or a long heavy-duty cargo train. If it's okay with you, my friend, what I'm going to do is actually name one of these trains the Buffalo Soldier in honour of yourself. Of course, if you would prefer to stick to it being a cargo train, that's no problem. I will drop it over to one of the grain trains when we get them on the lines, but I'm not sure when that's going to be, which is why I thought I'd put it in here like this now as a temporary placeholder. Of course, if you're happy with that, then we can keep it from here until the end of time. Not a problem, just let me know. And as always, if anybody else does have any names that they'd like to suggest, or any trains they'd like to be named after themselves, let me know. As I said, I've got a list starting already. It's just finding or remembering to actually include them. Right. Do we want to connect this line in over here just to complete it and to finish it off? I think we will. I don't know if anything would ever utilise it, of course, but just for completion's sake, why not? Well, what do we have here? The British Rail Standard Class 7. How interesting. Let's have a look at that in a moment. What I'm going to do here, just for a bit of scenery work, is actually make some sort of little sidings sort of thing going off here. Won't be used by any of our trains. We're not going to stable anything up here. But just for show, just something like that to bring it alive a little. It should have been level. I'll redo that at some point. For now, I want to look at this new train. It's faster than anything we currently have available, but I also think it's faster than our fastest carriage. Let's have a look. 75. And let's look at the locos that we have. So 75 is our top. Oh no, the A4 is faster, 90 miles per hour. But I must say that does look rather impressive, and I would like to see it run the lines. I imagine it's going to get up to speed a lot faster than the Mallard due to the increased power. Slightly reduced tractive effort, but most of our passenger lines are reasonably flat. Obviously there are bridges and the likes, but on the whole they are quite flat. I'm quite tempted to swap out the Mallards on this line for the British Rail class, what was it, class 7. Well, let's compare them first of all and see what difference it makes. So yes, they are quicker off the mark, as we can see. They will hit their top speeds a little faster. So let's do that. Let's swap out for the British Rail Standard Class 7. We still have the Mallards running our express line, of course. And given that this is the first time I've seen this train, let's have a good look, shall we? I like the sound. The Britannia. British Railways logo on there. Yes, now that looks like a proper passenger locomotive to me. Yes, I do like that sound. Okay, so that's the train in its natural green livery, of course. What we'll do now is we'll actually colour them to the line colour, which is this sort of, it's more brown than burgundy on reflection. Let's have a look what it looks like with the paint job. Ah, that looks rather splendid indeed. Very happy with that. So no passengers yet, as we can see, no pickup yet, that's fine. Although we have 9 people heading to the station. Hopefully they are heading actually to the station and not to here and then walking to one of these industries just here, but you never know. But at least they're starting to use the trams, which is the main thing. Let's just watch these pass each other, I think. Get into a nice position. Absolutely marvellous. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I'm really pleased with those. And I'm very pleased with this bridge. Well, there we go. That's been quite an enjoyable episode. We've got a canal constructed at great cost. We've got probably the most over-the-top bridge ever constructed, again, at great cost. But it does add a lot to the scenery. It really does. And in fact, what we'll do, just temporarily, just turn off all the UI, and then we can just have a good look at it and appreciate it with the towns in the background. So there's Portishead off that way. If we jump over here, there's West Ham over there. Let's just quickly head over to the shoreline in West Ham. Yes, I like that. I like that a lot. Let's just quickly try Portishead, maybe on this little bridge here. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. So, yes, well, it's time for the outro train ride, and there's only one train it can be. Let's hop on board the Buffalo Soldier. Let's enter the cockpit now. Do we want to position so we can see the train as well? Or do we want to just go full frontal? That sounded weird. Well, we had a good look at the train, didn't we? On its way into Burton, so we'll sit right on the front and have a good look at the scenery, keep it all open for us. So yes, I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed recording this one, it was a lot of fun. If you did enjoy it, obviously feel free to hit that thumbs up button down below. You don't have to, of course, but it is appreciated when I see the little notification. So if you are one of them, thank you very much. Just come up to the bridge now, so I'll wrap this up so we can enjoy the scenery. Yes, as always, all that remains for me to say is take very good care of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. It's ta-ta for now.